Okay. Can people hear me okay? Not streamed with in this new place. People hear me. Is the volume okay? Is the audio stuttery? I'm audible. That's perfect. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I'm gonna move on to a couple of tracks. Let's go over here. Hopefully that won't be too loud. See if you can see my... Hi! On a different side. It just made sense at the moment. I'm sort of in a temporary office. I mean, it might become my my full blown studio. The walls in here are. Let me see if you can go behind the wizard's curtain. Bright mustard yellow. And I quite like yellow. I'm not opposed. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm BoredGamer. I'm in my new house, which is terrifying because it's a big financial commitment and because it's sort of mine. And I'm far from my original ancestral home. Well, I'll still be going back there regularly. Yeah, it's cool. I really like it. House is big. I'm mostly settled in. I'll try and do some little tours of bits of the house as I'm working on them for socials or for Patreons and things if you're interested. Do a bit of sharing. I'm terrible at the old social media. I'm terrible at creating content, but hope everyone's doing well. I'm keenly awaiting some Evocati tests of Alpha 3.24 now. The renamed 3.23.2 is now Alpha 3.24. Got server meshing tests as well. You can expect over the next few days for them to continue doing them. Oh, thank you very much. BoredGamer USA. Why not? Or maybe it's BoredGamer USA. Hope you are doing well. I hope you're all doing good. Yeah, if you'd like to ask a question during the stream, question in brackets. I'm a bit frazzled. Hope the bitrate and everything is all sort of working. Some things we can talk about, obviously Alpha 3.23.2 or Alpha 3.24 now. The meshing stuff, Xeno threat, Alien Week, all that sort of stuff's coming to an end. As we move into sort of July, what have we got? We've got the Foundation Festival. We might have the run up to, or the very early start of Chip Showdown, things like that. And obviously loads of testing with 3.24. 3.24 is likely to come out during July. Do you think we'll get a cargo hover trolley with the cargo elevators? So it makes sense that we'll have cargo hover trolleys and stuff like that to help us be able to do the manual loading and unloading. And it's quite possible that we'd get it with 3.24 straight away. Like, we know that they had some working prototypes a while ago, or at least from CitizenCon. We know that they want to put them in the game. So if they're ready, yes, they're probably pushing to try and get them ready. Thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. I've got my monitors in a very weird place. I've got my what I was using as my painting desk set up as my desk in this like office at the moment. Is there any major patches between 3.24 and 4.0? There shouldn't be, no. As far as we're aware, the next major patch after 3.23.2/3.24 is 4.0. That is the plan. It's supposed to be the end of summer patch for 4.0. Well, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo patch, should we say? They say 4.0 is Intergalactic Aerospace Expo now, rather than. Did they say that? 4.0 at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. I thought they said end of summer. They might have said both. But what's the most recent? If they had said the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, that would be the most recent. I don't think they've said that. I think they've said certain ships will come out of the IAE. It's going to take so long for 3.24. I mean, we're getting there, right? They're getting there with the stuff. It's delays are part of the course. I know it's not great. It's going to be between now and 4.0. I expect it sort of. Hopefully, they'll be able to get it out mid-July, maybe. I mean, it's more likely to be late July now. But so it's not as big of a patch as if it had been just added to 3.23, right? So this is the cargo offshoots of the 3.23 patch, but repackaged. It might not going to be based on how the Evocati phase goes. It might, if we're lucky, it might be mid-July. I need to dig into what CIG have said about 4.0 now. I thought they'd said they wanted. So I report on what CIG say, and then I talk about what I reckon. But I always report on what they say, hence news. So I think the latest that they said was that 4.0 was end of summer, was the rough plan. But that'll be end of September. Often, and almost always, it'll be into CitizenCon territory. And yeah, could easily be pushed back to Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or end of year. That is very possible. Do you think they'll sneak in storage lockers with 3.24 patch? So, storage lockers, what do you mean? So we've got the item banks, which have been renamed. Updates to cargo, freight elevators, all that sort of stuff. We're not getting the item reclamation stuff. The item bank stuff is pretty close to storage lockers. They might tweak ship storage capacity to a degree. Do I think 3.24 will come with a wipe? It's not planned to come with a wipe as far as I'm aware. They had originally said last time you create a character, where you create that character's home location might be where you start for the cargo patch 3.23.2, 3.24. Now, so bear that in mind for where you get your persistent / personal hangar, because that will be your. You get a persistent you get a customizable persistent hangar at your home location only in this patch. Your spawn location, you get that hangar where if you put something down, it persists. You can basically customize it with furniture and stuff. Will there be furniture shops? Yes, eventually. Will there be furniture shops and stuff to buy for 3.24? Maybe. Yes, I will start recording probably later tonight some stuff for my what is effectively a man cave. Pretty bare bones at the moment. I've made some beds. I've made some furniture. I'm having the floors done starting tomorrow. Where's Chris Roberts? How will he ensure you don't break the NDA if he's not hovering? Where is Chris Roberts? Where could he be? He's more sneaky now. yeah, I hope that has good smoothly as well. Yeah, so floors getting done tomorrow. Then I'm ordering a load more furniture. Yeah, so obviously CIG, I believe that CIG have said they want 4.0 end of summer. Does not mean they're going to get it out by the end of summer. And then discerning the difference between what CIG say, what the target is, what is likely, will. Cavill versus BoredGamer 40k. Oh my god, that was I'd love to play Henry Cavill at 40k, whether it be or any of the Games Workshop systems. Some of the Games Workshop systems. I know he hasn't played the new edition. At least last time he talked about it, he hadn't played the new edition. Which is the same as me. I have not played the new edition of 40k. I've half built an army, a cavalry, Astramatam Imperial Guard army. Do you think the engineering will affect solo flyers? And do you think CIG will find a middle ground to keep both sides happy? But engineering 100% will affect solo flyers. They will make fighters effectively more short range. So single seaters effectively shorter range or shorter operating range and require repairing on the fly. They effectively have more stamina or more attrition during fights. So you can have your ship damaged and you can repair it, but you might have to exit your ship and go and repair it from the outside. It's going to be based on exactly what ship you have, because obviously some of it will be repairable internally. But that will make fighters compared to larger ships effectively shorter range, because they'll take damage and then they need repair, and some of that damage won't be able to be repaired by you very easily because it's a lost component. You haven't got a spare component. You can only patch up so much. And then people will want to obviously send those fighters out from carriers. You'll have more people to be picked up. You'll have more people requesting SRV evac. So 3.24, they tried to put it to an Evo build over the weekend. It was a sort of broken, had some problems. So they should be running 3.24 Evocati again later today and then throughout the week. Server meshing tests seem to be ongoing. They're going to be turning those on for a few hours every so often. I'm hoping they run one with Pyro. The last server meshing test they did was 3 servers connected to a single shard for the Stanton system. But as I said, I'm expecting them to run it with Pyro and Stanton so you can cross between them again. Can the hangar location be moved? So, as far as I'm aware, no. You'd have to reset your account and re-choose your home location. So obviously, effectively a temporary measure until you can rent hangars, things like that. Oh no, furniture. I'm dreadful when sitting for hours customizing space. Rip social life. So yeah, these are the CIG's first foray into bases, kind of. And you go, what? Yeah, so these are customizable zones that players will operate out of. They are effectively bases, your personal hangar. Now, in the future, you'll have proper base building and that sort of stuff, but this is a step towards that. I also use my penny desk as computer desk, more like my computer desk as paint desk. So I'm very much separating those zones in my house now. So I've got a basement floor as well as a first floor and ground floor. First floor in America, I think, is the second floor. Don't know why. Well, I suppose you don't know why we've got ground floors rather than first floors. Makes sense to me, might not to you. So yeah, so my basement is storage for stuff they sell for board games, 3D printing stuff, that sort of jazz. And then Right, my ground floor, big front room, kitchen, pretty much it. And then loads of board games in there. Well, there will be. At the moment it's empty because I'm waiting for the flooring guy to come around tomorrow. And then top floor, bedroom, guest bedroom, this office, bathroom. Really want to put in a toilet in the basement. I think that's the plan. I'll work out the cost of that because I'm relatively poor after buying the house, well, getting a mortgage on the house. Hey, are you going to bring back the Chris Roberts, Booking Harrison Phillips show? What? Maybe I've been talking Chris Roberts in the background. Is colonization going to be introduced in 3.24? No. Cargo patch and persistent hangar. So no actual base building or anything like that. Do you think we'll see the resurrection of the British Empire in Star Citizen between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. across the star systems? Why not? You're right, Ron Darkling, my mate. How did you? Okay. Assume you went to the Bar Citizen recently. Do you know there's another Bar Citizen up in Manchester this weekend or soon? I am now living close to Manchester, so I can actually attend all of them significantly more easily. What ships do you own? Like pledged ships? So I have other ships beyond pledged ships that I've either won through competition-y things or I've been awarded through referrals. So I spent about $3,500 on ships, and I've got things like, but I've also got like I've got a big range, lots of industrial ships, some fighters and stuff. I've got like an F8, got a Mercury Star Runner, I've got Banner Merchantman, but I've also got things like a Javelin and a Pioneer. One Dark Enigma, can you DM me or email me or tweet me the details of that Bar Citizen? Because I had them and I can't find them now. They were listed originally on the Bar Citizen website, but they've been removed for some reason. AI Blades before AI Crew, but when? Expect next year to be the year of AI. That'll be my expectation. So they're working on networking stuff and AI for most, because it's going to be the optimization of server meshing, trying to push it towards a much better static version / starting to trying to move into dynamic and AI, sort of getting those AI blades in and NPCs in. I'd expect at the very least sort of AI blades. I do think they're going to be trying to push NPC crew sooner rather than later. At least working on it. Doesn't owning a house hold more value than the currency used to purchase it, even with interest? Yes. As a investment proposition, 100%, yeah. Thank you very much, mate. Genuinely appreciated for sending that. That's saved me a lot of time and effort. A quick recap for the last 4 weeks. Been working 8-hour shifts. I'm out of the loop. Big key points. So CIG have we're waiting on a cargo patch, which is now 3.23.2. It's been renamed 3.24. So that's the patch we're waiting on. It's going to be going to Evocati today, probably, or later this week. And we're sort of expecting it to turn up to live at some point in July. And the next major patch after that, and that's the big cargo patch. That's loads of cargo stuff and persistent hangers and things like that as well. And then we've got 4.0, which is roughly targeted at the end of summer. Obviously, lots of people think it's going to be October, it's going to be November before they get 4.0 out. We'll have to wait and see. They're running server meshing tests at the moment. What else is happening? We've had Xeno Threat being run on the servers, which is had mixed success, which is much better than terrible success. So Alien Week has been running as well. And like Xenothreat's been updated, so you like can board the addresses and stuff. But it was quite laggy for a lot of people. There's lots of desync for a lot of people. But sometimes the event would run fine. I think it depends on like server degradation and that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, they had an official Bar Citizen event like last week. Well, yeah, it would have been last week. But there's another Bar Citizen, not official one, but in Manchester, I believe this weekend. Yeah, I was talking about storage lockers earlier. So storage lockers in 3.24, you're going to have freight elevators. You're going to have the item banks. Beyond that, nothing else. Obviously, it's manual loading and unloading of cargo, so you can put stuff in a pile. You could choose any concept ship to be finished and released right now. What would you choose? Would it have all its functionality as well? Because if it would also have all its functionality, the Pioneer, for base building, or the Endeavour, something like that, or the Banu Merchantman. Those are the sort of ones I love the most, I think. I'm not sure what pistol you were talking about, unfortunately. I only just looked back up. It'll probably be one of the Squadron 42 hero ones. So a military version of a Do you think the Carrack will get discounts for loading and unloading because it can't be done manually? That's a good point. So some ships are not fully built out or updated for the manual loading unloading process. So things like the Carrack, unfortunately, are going to have to be. It's going to be hard to load and unload them. That's a really good point. Oh, assumedly, unless they've actually now had the time to do tweaks for it. Is there any news about the Galaxy? When is it going to be on sale again? So it will definitely be on sale again in November with the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And there hasn't been any updates on it. Not for ages. So one of the other things that CIG are talking about a lot recently is work towards a 1.0 commercial release of the game, which would be some form of minimum viable product, or they're working out what that minimum viable product is for them. But that looks to be the next major milestone after 4.0. And I say that they're already looking at 4.1, things like that. So there are going to be 4.x patches. It's just that they are actually going to have a roadmap to 1.0 that they're going to release later this year to us. Whether or not you believe what they say with that, I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you, thank you. A lot of people love the Banu Merchantman, right? There's a lot of love for that ship. Did I actually tweet? I did not. Let me post. I am streaming for a bit. As we talk about classism. Start. Boop. Oop. I got distracted. What are we talking about? Bored. I love the banner mentionment, but I don't want them to work on it until how they have proper time. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, they're not going to do stuff half-assed when it comes to ships, especially. That's their sort of forte, pretty ships. So they're working on a load of RSI ships at the moment. They are expanding out their teams. See a load of talents come over from Squadron 42 to work on Star Citizen. They said the players will get bigger guns than we saw at Invictus, dual size 5, I think. Any idea what size they might be? Because it seems dangerous to put guns up too much, seeing that the Perseus trait. Okay, so Perseus, really big guns for being a sort of conventional brawler, being able to duke it out with capital ships, large ships, sort of do massive damage to them with its big gun turrets. Yeah? Now, Polaris, they want it to be a threat as a corvette, even if it doesn't have its missiles or torpedoes. Right? It's used them all. Torpedo base destroyed, not launching them for some reason because maybe it gets a load of fights, whatever. So they want to power up its turrets to a degree. Now, this could be some more powerful guns. It could be a different mix of guns, so it's more effective against multiple types of targets. But we do not know what it's getting beyond turret upgrades, turret size increases. CIG have not been specific. Do not expect it to be, well, it's pointless to have a Perseus now. Because they are both our size ships, and they both have their own roles. But I understand your concern. I mean, that's that's a very fair thing to say. What about the fact CR said last year at CitizenCon, Alpha, Beta, and on to live? What are we talking about? What's going on? So they might consider 4.0 or one of the 4.x patches as beta. They might have changed what their thoughts are. They might consider their commercial 1.0 release beta. It's hard to tell with Star Citizen, right? We're going to go for an unconditional, an unconventional beta. It's going to be version 1 release, we're going to call it. And it's going to not be any more resets afterwards. That sounds like a live release. No. We've still got lots to do. I'm not sure why I talk like that. That's my nerd voice. Otherwise known as my voice. Wonder if I get more or less viewers if my videos have this voice the whole time. Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. You might have already answered me, but I realised I was zoning out, so I might have missed it. Do you think we'll get a new flyable ship with 3.24 or before 4.0 in general? Yes, I think that there could be a new ship or vehicle. One of the reasons they've renamed it 3.24 might be like, oh, actually, let's chuck a couple of extra things in here. A couple of things already. Let's release a new ship or vehicle. I think that's quite likely. Will the component app in the Mobi-Glass be permanent? Or will they eventually change it to manual change of components? So, you will be able to have components automatically changed at facilities. And same with your cargo, loading and unloaded automatically, but you have to pay for that service. And you will also be able to do it manually by yourself. Haven't thought about whether or not it'd still be an app so you could see all the stuff on your ship. It's a good question though. It may evolve, yeah. Appreciate all the kind words. Sorry, late. One can we be able to transfer cargo from the back of one ship to storage to another ship? So you're going to be able to do that manually in 3.24 within the same hangar. You're able to do that manually in 3.24, whatever. You can do a lot of cargo movement now. So interestingly, you say, Adam, you said, do people want fast patches, which come out on time, or good patch? And maybe you should be patient. And obviously, the correct thing to say for most people is they want a good patch, whereas I actually want fast patches because I want CIG to move towards 1.0 quicker, and I think that releasing patches faster without as much bug fixing is a better way of doing it. Now, obviously, they can't do that because they've marketed the game and their monetization stuff is all about having playable patches. I'm just saying, if they're doing it all again, that's what I want them to do. Not necessarily the right answer either. Question from a potential new player: the game packages sometimes go on sale? Yes, sometimes they go on sale. They're in July. There is the Foundation Festival. There is likely going to be some starter packages on sale during that period. But as Lewis has correctly said, discounts, they range from 5 to 15%, and you don't know what package is going to be discounted. Sometimes you get out to 25%, but Foundation Festival, typically they'll have a couple of starter packages discounted, typically. Do you think the Pioneer will live up to its initial concept? When it's initially released, maybe. It's hard, isn't it? Because obviously, you mean, is base building going to be at a scale when the Pioneer's released that the Pioneer can build big things? And base building is good. I mean, it will be eventually. I'm not sure about when its initial release is planned. I suspect they'll time it so that there's a good amount of meat and the need for the Pioneer when they release it. I'm hopeful. Base building is one of the things I want to be done well in the game, and then obviously the operation of those bases. Because, so the way I see Org and PvP battles happening is that you are jostling over resources in the Pyro system, and you are trying to track down the enemy Org that you might be at war with, their bases, before they track down yours, so that you can destroy them, and then basically dislodge them so they don't have as much fuel and ammo and manufacturing facilities in that area. So you're sort of pushing them out that way. I really like that idea. I am pro people running bar citizens, and as long as they're up front with how they're running it and the costs and everything to a degree, and go, oh, it's ticketed, whatever, cool. As long as they're not sort of trying to really line their pockets or anything. Like, okay, there's that Shenzhen bar citizen. Is it this weekend? Where they were charging $2,700 or something for tickets, so you could potentially dine with CIG. Now, I'm not sure if that was just for a single person or if that was a group of 10 or something, but a lot of people were like, what? But there's a bit of cultural difference over there, and they've got this big, they're trying to cover costs, I think. And that's me being very kind. But are they trying to make a big profit as well? So it's not CIG run, but CIG are attending there. Gravel the map, thank you very much. I appreciate donations. Have CIG shot themselves in the foot having so many ships, needing to back and balance everything? Yes. Some ships will probably never be used by other than NPCs. Maybe the NPC specific ships. So yeah, that's a good question, because like there's an Aurora series. There's like Aurora ES. Like some of these ships are effectively not going to be used unless they're used by NPCs or pirates or whatever. But being used by NPCs and pirates and stuff is still being used, right? And maybe when you've got a dynamic economy, there's going to be all sorts of ships going to be used, because some are going to be cheap, some are going to be very specialized for certain things, even the sort of low end stuff. So I do think there's a load of ships. I do think they need to sort of like, well, actually, let's just crunch all of the Auroras into one ship that's a little bit more modular. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of ships. I do think it's quite hard for them to balance stuff. But they'll get there. Obviously, once they've got there, they can then add new ships more easily, I think. And they can sort of do either Cardian stuff or ETUs for that once the game's live, just to test new ships, make sure they're balanced. I do think you're right. I do think there's going to be a lot of ships that are effectively not really used by players, much more potential loadouts for NPCs. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But quite so many ships in general is a bit hellish for CIG to balance now. Your concierge and event rewards armor weapons respawn with you. They are effectively one use, unless you recover your stuff. There will be, so when you have your account wiped or there's a new patch, you get your stuff back. You get all those things back. They're effectively account bound. There will be a item recovery system in the future, so you don't have to reset your account or wait for a reset to get them back, though. Do you think the Banner Merchant will be finished this year? I think we'll see more work on it later this year, but I think if we're lucky, end of next year, you'll see Banner Merchant. Why does CIG hate the freelancer? Or freelancers, what do you mean? Do you mean people that are working as a freelancer, or do you mean the ship the freelancer? The ship the freelancer needs a few updates for sure. Have you been playing Star Citizen since day one? I've been playing since there was a hangar module to play. So from the earliest stage, it was somehow playable. I played it. How far do you think it's come since its first reveal? Massively, hugely. I mean, it didn't have. They didn't even have the idea for the sort of procedural persistent planetary stuff with the original stuff. So its fidelity and its simulation, general simulation sort of aspects of universe simulation aspects have expanded out hugely. Will you see Star Citizen in the future? Well, I think it's slightly more scaled back. And with a version 1 release, they'll need to look at a minimum viable product for what is viable to get in the game. Like, are they going to actually have orbiting planets? They said They said that's the plan. They said they want them. They said that quite recently. I think it's far too much trouble, but that's just me. So yeah, I agree with you. With they didn't shoot themselves in the foot with lots of ships because variety is the spice of life. 100%. Oh, I want thousands of ships. I just think that it's hellish for them to balance at the moment because of the ships. Did you become bored because of awful Star Citizen patch releases? Yeah, I was expecting Star Citizen to be released in 2015. Well, 2016. Squadron 42 to be released in 2016, and I just got very stressed after that. All the hair trend just fell downwards. I'd love to have investigative reporting missions, go undercover, big scoop. We'll sort of see what there is. There'll be some sort of mission that's a bit like that, right? Themed and narrative-wise. For sure. There'll be lots of stuff like that. Loads and loads of missions is the plan, right? Do you think we'll see any more changes since they decide to change it from 3? Oh. So are there any additions in 3.0 3.24 over 3.23.2. Maybe a new ship or vehicle might turn up. There might be some other little changes and additions there. But at its core, it's going to be the same patch. It's just basically a rebranding. They do a new broadcast concept. So what, a new like style of the Mako, Reliant Mako? I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Reliant Mako. I'm not a fan of the Reliant series, but I like the idea of the news van and the recording of stuff. Are we going to make a video together at CitizenCon, perhaps the board/poet podcast? I would be honoured to Poets. I enjoy your tech stuff. I also saw you punch very hard the punching machine. Good job. It'd be great to meet you, mate. Quite genuinely. Looking forward to it. If you want to do anything there, cool. Yeah, great. I'm pretty easy and I'm pretty chaotic as a human. Are my souls still buggy? Yeah. They're erratic. I do not use Telegram. That is correct, SketchTherapy. If anyone is being contacted by someone that's pretending to be me, that's not on my main actual account, then it's probably a fake. You can always get me on my Discord or drop me an email or whatever. Just assume it's always a scam. Yeah, we could see. I'm hoping lots of people are going to be enjoying CitizenCon this year. I love the fact it's so close to me. I've literally moved up super close to it. I love my A1 and my F7A Mark II, my daily flyer. So I'm a big fan of my F8. Big fan of my F8. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's like GTA with spaceships now, Star Citizen. And I think I used that comparison many years ago. I think there's going to be elements of that. Turn this down a little bit. Yeah, really excited for 3.24. Obviously, the Kali later this week. Excited for moving into July. I'm trying to. So for ship showdown stuff, I'm always, well, maybe not always, but I love my Mercury Star Runner. I do have other ships that I love. I like the Cutlass Blue. What's your thoughts about bots trying to get you to buy our PVC in global chat like GTA 5? So, obviously gold sellers are a problem. I don't like the precedent and how gold sellers operate. I have seen that on YouTube and sometimes even on my videos, there have been YouTube ads sort of effectively bought that are served going, buy your LPVC. The gold sellers exist in all MMOs. Would I ever buy gold? I don't think so. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I believe it will be very much against CIG's terms of service eventually. If it's probably a grey area at the moment, potentially. But buying out PVC, which is very ephemeral, probably a bad idea, just because he deleted the wave of a stick. But yeah, obviously encourages people to hack into other people's accounts to try and get their money or to advertise. It encourages people to use exploits to gather alpha UEC. It encourages getting potentially people in countries, in little farms, effectively farming gold. Are people actually buying alpha UEC from them? Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. Go look on eBay, the poets. There's loads of alpha UEC on sale there. There's adverts on YouTube, literally occasionally on my videos, or at least I have previously seen an ad be served for an American RPVC sales company. You can buy it on like Startups and Trades and stuff like that. People sell this stuff. It's a time thing, right? So it's like, I worked all week, got moderately high disposable income. I want 10 million RPVC. How much is that? Oh, just a few dollars. Oh, yeah, whatever. Obviously, scale that up, or scale that to a lot of people. Got yourself a market. So I'm okay with grey markets, and I'm also very pro people doing what they want with their money within reason. But I just think that gold sellers set a bad tone, and they bring with it a lot of other issues. And CIG are going to be selling their own currency probably, so it's probably going to be very against their terms of service eventually. But I was going to say, is it different from selling ships? Yeah, because you can't grind with exploits ships from the game and then sell them. At least not yet. You get a lot of... You broke into the market very well with talking about the Raven and doing intel stuff to purchase a lot of Star Citizen people are like, huh, the Raven man. Bored. I'm going to farm gold UC, but not only for me, but only for me and my stuff. Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, do it for your org or whatever. Zin's talked about this with me before. If you're gonna try and bypass playing the game by buying stuff, why are you playing the game in the first place? Like, play the game, enjoy it, enjoy the grind, right? Do stuff that you want to do. Play, enjoy. That said, I do buy spaceships. Oh, cognitive dissonance. What a javelin. Well, I didn't buy a javelin. I got given a javelin. Referrals. It was from referrals. It's fine. You are that GTA 6 is reportedly costing $2 billion in development. I don't think it's just in development. I think that's also their advertising budget, I think. And that they also alleged working on server meshing tech. So server meshing tech's been used by different companies in different ways already. Server meshing is used as more of a... it's used vaguely, shall we say. I'd be interested to see how their multiplayer stuff's going to work. But, I mean, it'll probably just be a series of instances. We'll see. They do it at a huge scale, great. Is it correct to say that buying the newer, baddest fighter because you don't have time for the grind won't save you from getting spanked by Moist Noodle in a Mustang? Okay. Yeah, so if you're 1v1ing someone that's a very good dogfighter and you are a dog crap fighter, but even if you've got a much better dogfighter, it's likely, even with new master modes and all the gunnery updates and stuff, that the good dogfighter will beat you. The good player, the better player. But same skill, and someone's got a better fighter, they're going to win in the better fighter. It's actually not all the time, but most of the time. Right? So one of the things that Esther is that you effectively revived the Saber Raven in the community. I think codes now work again, or they didn't get phased out, and you reminded people about it, or whatever. You're very much associated with the Saber Raven, and that excites people. And they go, "Oh, will I get a free Saber Raven code if I meet the Raven Man?" Actually, that's a really good idea. I should give out occasional ship codes. People want to be my friend. Is there about to be a wipe? As far as we know, there shouldn't be a wipe with 3.24. But it's possible there'd be a wipe for 3.24 because it's a big cargo overhaul. So we don't know. Had originally said, probably not. But stuff changes. What do you think about CIG and what they'll do about any potential exploits that may come with server meshing and cargo in the persistent hangars? I think they'll want people to report on it and then talk about it and then fix it. And if people overly exploit that, they'll get temporarily banned. There's going to constantly be exploits that appear and cheats that appear throughout Star Citizen, especially during its alpha. And people will get, if you exploit them, if you overly use them beyond testing and reporting, then you will get temporarily banned. They'll take action. Do you think it's still pay to win, even though it takes skill and multiple crews to operate most ships that you can buy? So, literally depends on how you define pay to win. Define how you what you mean by pay to win, and then I can tell you whether or not Star Citizen fits that. If it is just anything that you can do that will give you any form of advantage by buying, then Star Citizen is 100% pay to win. You can buy currency, you can buy ships, pay to win by that standard. If it's, well, it's only pay to win if you can, there's stuff that you can only access with money, or is you're going to be very hard pressed to get without money, then I don't think Star Citizen's pay to win. You can argue that, but I do think there's a big skill element, and I do think that time played is going to be much more important than anything else. And there's a lot of difference in the mindset of people here as well, because if you're a PvPer, you're like, well, of course, it's pay to win because I'll just buy a better ship. Whereas PvEers are more like, well, I want to play the game. It's my story. It doesn't matter, right? So there's a little bit of different people see it in entirely different ways. It does depend on how you define pay to win. Is this patch live now? What? So, 3.24, going to Epicardi, potentially today or later this week. 3.23.1 is the current patch. And pay to win is when you can buy things that are not available for players through the game. So, yeah, if that's your so you do have the Saber Raven, although they now have the Firebird, so you can effectively get the Raven for other means, or at least the chassis. There's the AMD Never Settle. The Omega is basically the Gamma, Mustang Gamma. But pretty much everything can be bought in Star Citizen in-game, or will be available in-game. No, I mean, I'm very much on the position of pay to win. Literally depends on how you define it. If you're going, if it gives you any advantage by putting money in, Star Citizen is pay to win. If it's and then depends on how you define it. I don't think this is a better question. Do you think that Star Citizen, with its monetization model, or its whatever you think pay to win, whatever, do you think it can still be a good game, even if it is effectively pay to win in that way? Yes, 100%. But I'm very much a Star Citizen believer, which is why I've been covering it for several years. 10 years? Coming up on 10 years? Oh my god, what have I done with my life? Don't say you're AFK, Jaybird. If you say you're AFK, then all the trolls come out. They go, yeah, now I can post stuff. Ford's slow. He can't moderate. He doesn't know what he's doing. That is true. So yeah, NPC crews are supposed to be, and AI blades. AI blades are going to allow you to have additional systems or semi-automated systems on your ship, help you run stuff. Maybe you automatically fire countermeasures, sort of operate a turret in quite a basic way, stuff like that. And then NPC crews are going to be able to do a lot more, but it's going to sort of like be, well, I say a lot more, be a lot more effective. But they shouldn't be as effective as players, is the idea. Do you know if each version of ships is just a starting point. Like we swap between an Avenger loadout, for example. So some ships are modular, some ships are not. Some ships are basically hull variants. Some ships aren't. It depends on the ship. So that's not Levski. That is Impyro. You think Star Citizen's monetization model is unfairly judged in a vacuum, and comes nowhere near unfair when compared to schemes of AAA, gacha games, and mobile games. Yeah, oh god, yeah. So is how money grabby is what has been deemed as Store Citizen by like pirate software and stuff like that. Yeah, not even nearly money grabby as gacha games, mobile games, AAA games, which are purely driven just by profit. Star Citizen is driven by developing a game. Okay, they want to make money. They want to expand their studios. So marketing and monetization model comes into that. They want people to play. They want to expand that out. But it's not solely purely there to generate money, because they could have done that in lots of different ways, a lot more scummily. Yeah. I think that's fair. Do you think it would be good for the health of the game if ship sales changed at beta or 1.0 to only happen with starships, and CIG changed to skins for monetary gain? So, it's an interesting one. They had originally said they basically weren't going to sell ships beyond packages, starter packages, and up to like maybe mid-level packages. Starter packages, basically, what they said, after the game's release. But that was years ago. I still think they're going to sell ships. They're going to be selling the in-game currency. That's what they said as well. We'll have to see. I don't want them to be overly aggressive with the monetization of the game to make it unfun or unplayable. But because of the large skill element in Star Citizen, it makes it a lot more interesting to me. Like, I am happy to go against someone with a significantly more expensive ship if that means that I have the chance to salvage their more super expensive ship. A gacha ship sale. Oh my god. Don't give CIG ideas. And what else we got? If MFD's update is coming, does that mean we could theoretically see Blades soon after? I mean, I think next year we're going to see AI Blades and we'll work on NPC crew, but AI Blades next year sort of thing. How much longer for the Polaris? I think it's at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, I believe. That's when it's planned to be entered to the game, I believe. Yeah, 3.24, almost certainly going to be released in July. Thank you very much for the bits. Racing9, thank you. Genuinely appreciated. You're used to just my voice. Well, I am a beautiful potato. Depends on what angle you look at me. From the side, it's potato. From the front, it's almost a perfect egg. Do you think they will quickly update the Carrack, as you won't be able to use it for cargo when the cargo patch goes on? So it's possible that they've already fixed that. Oh, that's unlikely. They did say that summer ships, like the Carrack, weren't going to be ready for 3.3, 3.2 for the cargo updates. Do I think they're going to fix it quickly? I don't know, because they haven't said, obviously it's a priority to get that stuff sorted. But, when trying to run a game that they say is effectively development as a service crossed with the live service, kind of, they need to get the Carrack into working order for cargo for the new mechanics, because otherwise it's sort of like, and now you can't use the cargo on the Carrack, at least properly. I don't know. CIG have not talked about it. How much do you want to bet that CIG will have a cargo ship sale with 3.24? Almost certain. Cargo ships, vehicles. They might even sell hover trolleys. I'd buy a hover trolley. The reclaim is going to be a nightmare to load and unload. Yeah, so the refinery stuff's interesting, right? Because effectively, you're going to need to take your saddlebags and you're going to need to take your salvage, you're going to and your mining stuff and put it in the freight elevators as well. So refining. Ooh. Yeah, that's one of the other things. CIG are spending almost all of their money on developing the game. Not for shareholders. It's not yet. The interesting thing about Star Citizen's monetization model as it stands is that the game would not exist and the scale of the game would not exist without it. So, as much as you may dislike it or be okay with it, it's leading to a Star Citizen that I think is amazing and a unique experience. And I love the project, warts and all. Love the community as well. I love the devs. I've got friends at CIG. I've got friends that have left CIG. I've got friends that have been fired from CIG or been made redundant. I love the project warts and all. And even if I haven't played Star Citizen much recently because I've been moving house. And I've only... I tried to get onto the 3.24 build, but broken. Played a little tiny bit of the server meshing stuff. Played a little tiny bit of Xenothreat, but not nearly as much as I would normally. But I'm looking forward to the cargo stuff, getting back into the game a lot more seriously, and 4.0 later in the year. Oh, that's exciting for me. CitizenCon. CitizenCon not too far away. Less than 4 months. That's quite far away. Have they said what manufacturer they're going to start building the asset library for after RSO? So they are working on other manufacturers simultaneously. It's just that they were prioritizing a load of RSO ships in a row. And I'm not sure what other ship sets are focused at the moment. I suspect we'll see a lot more when they update the roadmap. I need to go at some point to find my glasses, which are somewhere in some boxes. I got real hard time actually reading questions. I'm going to stop pretty soon. I'm going to see who else is streaming, and then we'll do like a wrap up and chat before I send you over to them. I've just found myself again. Who's that handsome gentleman? It's me. Well, I'm going to send you to Super Mac Brother, because I love the boy. Oh, no. That's me. Trade. Hopefully that's worked. Cool. Yeah, so very much looking forward to the 3.24 cargo stuff. Hopefully better to talk about it with hands-on experience later this week with the Evocati patch. Expect it to go live at some point in July. It's going to be based on how the PT phase and the Evocati phase goes. Server meshing tests, potentially with Pyro and stuff like that, are ongoing. Get involved with those if you can, if you want to. They're on the tech preview build typically, so sort of anyone with a game package can get involved with those. Going to be moving into the Foundation Festival, and then maybe at the extreme end of July or beginning of August, we'll have the Ship Showdown stuff. And I'm going to try and get to a Bar Citizen maybe on this Saturday, question mark, or Friday. Soon, I think this weekend, I'm going to try and get to this Bar Citizen in Manchester, maybe. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Very appreciated. This is sort of like a test run for make sure my internet and stuff worked for doing for streaming and stuff. Room's not too horribly hot or anything, even in the middle of the summer, which is good. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much for the donations. Oh, do you plan on converting your beer helmet to a camera helmet and give us a tour of your new home, like Wingman from the past? I'll just do it with my phone, you know, for like a walkie sticky boy, rather than a hat. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Genuinely very appreciated. Love you all, or at least some of you a bit, especially people that donated.